I know if I had a child, a loved one, anybody I knew friend-wise that went missing, I would want everybody in the world out looking for them.
We treat each missing person as if they are our family, or we treat it like we take it very, very close to our hearts.
Those volunteers say even though they left today, they won't give up.
To launch their second full-scale official search of the area immediately surrounding the Wells home on Ben Hill Road.
Won't wait until this time of year after the frost.
They search. Sheriff Lawson saying they used aircraft, drones, search dogs, and ground crews to search every area. They may have missed something when the vegetation was too thick in the summer. I'm told the TBI has recently...
I wonder if they're going to go back now.
Received roughly 1,500 tips in the search for summer. Authorities ask anyone living in the Beech Creek area to continue to search their properties and go over trail camera footage in case any evidence of Summer's whereabouts surfaces. Now, crews are
in speaking with dive teams, what are you guys actually doing with them? Is that searching ponds, creeks, lakes? Could you just elaborate a little bit more on what that search is looking like? You talked about ground.
Hi, Darlene.
Yes. So our specialized
Hi,
teams
Martha.
that spoke on the USAR, the dive teams, as both Sheriff Ronnie Lawson and Leslie spoke, we are pursuing every avenue. We're covering every ground cover. We're covering every aspect.
Summer Moon Utah Wells reported missing June 15, 2021 from the 100 block of Ben Hill Road in Rogersville, Tennessee. 1-800-TBI find with credible tips. All right. I'm going to nope, I don't want to invite guests. Well, I could, I guess, but they need to interrogate someone until someone breaks, in my opinion. Yeah, me too. My opinion too. Hi, Birdie. All right. Amber alert. Summer Moon Utah Wells, 3.5 feet tall, 40 pounds, blonde hair, shaved at the time of her disappearance, and bright blue eyes. Missing since June 15th of 2021 out of the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County, Tennessee. We're not going to stop talking about her. At the time of her disappearance, she was said to be wearing a pink shirt and gray pants and was possibly barefoot. Her parents called 911 and said they couldn't find her around 6:30 p.m. June 15th of 2021. The circumstances leading up to Summer's disappearance remain unclear, and there have been no specific suspects named or specific people cleared publicly by law enforcement. Ronnie Lawson says everyone is a suspect, person of interest, however you want to put it. The circumstances of Summer's disappearance are outside the norm, according to law enforcement. What if they have been looking in the wrong direction this whole time? Will we get another press conference soon to let us know you're at least working hard and have narrowed down a particular suspect or two or three? I have suspects in mind. Jody Sue Brown was Summer's neighbor at the time of her disappearance. She posted 17 videos titled Summer 1 through 16 with 2 number 11s, and this is what she said in videos 11A and 11B through 13, with a skip on video 12 because it was a repeat of 11A. And to clarify, these original videos are from August of 2021, only 2 months after Summer disappeared. They were posted to YouTube February 7th of 2022, and I wanted to make sure that was clear because I had written in a description that they were from February of 22, but they were originally recorded just 2 months after Summer's disappearance. We left off last with Jody talking about Jackie Dobbs and the last time she saw him, all her problems with him, and how he hit her gut so wrong. She then goes on into the 15th and how she began searching for Summer. My spell check goes nuts covering Jody Sue Brown, so forgive any mistakes as it will recorrect as I add things in and take things out, and although I have already read through it and corrected it, it may change. So please excuse any errors. Also, I dismiss a lot of the errors because it is what Jody says, and although it does not make sense, technically it is what Jody says, and I found it important enough to keep it as is. So a lot of things may sound like rambling and like it doesn't really make sense. Just know that's not me. This is what Jody Sue Brown has said herself. It takes a lot of time to go through and correct Jody content. And this is what Jody says 2 months after Summer disappears. Video number 11, Summer number 11. So like I was saying, Jody says, I had gotten down and looked into the tile, I think she calls it. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong. And I didn't see Summer across back over to the left where the other side of the tile is. Cross over and there's a spot that's kind of clear and I head towards the creek. Maybe brothers left her behind or she's fallen off the hill and gotten hurt. You know, the usual things. And if that's the case, we need to find her because she's been out here for a while. It'd been a while since I heard the scream, Jody says. I was wearing sandals and I know the best thing I can do is get in the water. So I step in the creek because from there I can keep tracks down. Because when you live in areas like ours, you know worst case scenario. You also know what happens if someone can't be found. And you know staying in the water keeps scent down for dogs if they have to be brought in. Also, it's a good way to check with your feet what's at the bottom in deepest spots. At the same time, I keep an eye on the bank going around Candace's and to the top of the hill, she says. Before I stepped into the creek, I could hear the boys go down the left side of their property towards the creek on that side. And there was a point there when I could tell that Candace and the boys had met up when they were hollering for Summer and circling at the hill at the top. And Candace was to the oldest, like, what did you do? What did you do? It wasn't accusatory. It was more like, did you not have your eyes on your sister? Did you leave her behind? So I figured maybe the boys were supposed to have an eye on her and didn't or something. So I was stepping into the creek and I'm not too far in. As I was looking, it wasn't but a few feet into the water, but 20 feet maybe. I don't know. It wasn't too far in when I hear a car coming down Candace's driveway. And I hear her talking to somebody, which I assume is someone in the car talking to her. But I jumped out of the creek and into the roadway, and Candace is in the Grandis's vehicle, which kind of confused me at first because I saw the flash of red earlier, but that wouldn't be the first vehicle in line if Grandis's was in front. That's why she was in Grandis's truck. When she pulls up, she's on the phone with Donnie. And when she pulls up, guys, I wish I could explain to you. I wish I had a way I could have taken a video or picture that day, she says. Donnie's on the phone with her, and I didn't even realize the comment. It just didn't hit me. And the first thing I said to Candace was, Candace, I heard a scream. I'm sorry, I didn't know. And Donnie's on the phone. Notice how she keeps calling him Donnie. And he's saying, so you're telling me someone's taken my baby girl? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And then I put it together because the first thing she says to me, we're talking together basically. I'm saying sorry. And she's like, Summer's missing. And I'm like, where's the last place you seen her? And I heard the scream and it's all a jumble. And her face is so, the tears, y'all, as a mother, any mother, if you had seen her face, she was sincere. Candace and I and Donnie, it wasn't like we were all besties or anything. We were neighbors. In the area we live in, you deal with your direct neighbor. You don't deal with all of them. You deal with your direct. So there would be the conversations here and there. Candace and I had similar issues throughout the years. There was 3 or 4 years or so of us being trapped where we were before we even really met them. We knew they were over there and lived there. Unless it's an emergency, a murder, or something like that, it's a don't come on my hill situation, right? Unless it's an emergency, a murder, or something like that, she says, it's a don't come on my hill situation, right? Anyway, weren't besties or anything like that. Like, cup of sugar, one of the kids needs something, need toilet paper, will you watch the kids for this, whatever that. I'd watched the kids throughout the years. Our kids didn't really play together or anything, but we knew each other's kids. The boys went back and forth while the girls did not. If the power went out or something, it was the boys that came back and forth, not the girls. Right before this, our preteen wasn't even allowed to walk to the mailbox because it's too far. The mailbox is the only point of vulnerability, really, because of cars, not because of, I thought, kidnapper. There's bears and whatever, but it's not really a big deal for us. Wildlife's a thing. They know how to traverse that world. Because I said Ellie Mae, right? It's never been animals I've worried about for them or the people. It's been the way the cars come around the curve. It's super dangerous. So anyway, she says, Candace and I had similar issues throughout the years and helped each other through those situations. If she needed a ride away or I needed her to take pictures for me, so there was things like that. And we kept it to ourselves over the years for obviously good reason. If one of the kids needed something or was cut or whatever, there were times where she called like, hey, do you have this or that or whatever. Then video 11 part 1 ends. Perfect timing for me to grab a drink of my vanilla Coke. Excuse me. Summer 11, Part 2. So somewhere between 6 and 6:09. I will have to check, but I'm pretty sure I'm starting at the top and the descent down the driveway. And before I lose Wi-Fi signal, I message Andy, which she calls him Voldemort through this, but for the sake of typing, really, and just because his name is Andy, I just called him Andy. And she's the descent down the driveway. She's starting the descent down the driveway. And before she loses Wi-Fi signal, she messages Andy, and that's around 6 or 6:09. She tells him, I'm heading down early, so I'll mess around with the flowers till he gets there, even though I knew it would be like half an hour at that point. I'm hearing Candace calling for Summer. Before I'm all the way down, I know there have been more than 3 calls. After 3 calls, my gut said, no. Because I've never known Summer to be like, and as a mother, usually the 3rd call brings them in. So by that 3rd call or so, I knew. And my mind went click, click, click with the sound I heard. I personally just assumed those things went together almost immediately. And it's not my job to make of what I heard, what they heard, or to say that that was anybody for certain, right? Jody says, it's not my job. She says, all I know is what I can speak on, but I can't be like 100% this or 100% that or whatever. It's people's jobs that are trained for that, she says. I'm just here to tell what our day and the events for us were like and our thoughts, feelings, and so anyway, she says. I get to the bottom of the driveway. I have my purse. Actually, the same one I'm still carrying. I'm a little attached, she says. By this point, I'm starting to panic for her. I know something's wrong, I just know it, and I look across and there's a drop off the other side of the road, and it's kind of down, and the creek runs that way. It runs through both properties. It's the main creek through Beech Creek. It goes under a tile through the Ben Hill. So I look down to make sure Summer is not there, and Candace is still hollering. The boys are calling and circling, so I drop my purse and I try hollering up at Candace that I'm looking, and she can't hear me because the way her property picks up noise. I could hear her clear as day. At a certain point, I know trying to scream at her is a waste of time. I just need to be looking for Summer. To me, that scream, I don't think, whatever, she says. I don't know how to, but I look anyway. I think she was trying to say she didn't know how to think of the scream being Summer because it was too hard for her to think of that, but she looked anyway just in case that was Summer that fell and got hurt. That's what I'm assuming she meant. Start down toward where the tile that the creek runs under passes through from this property to Candace's. So I look through that, even though I know the kids never really play on the right side. They usually stay on the left, but just to be sure, I got down on my knees, looked down under the tile, and didn't see her. Then that concludes summer number 11. Summer number 12 is the exact same video as summer number 11. 11A. She must have uploaded it twice by accident, hence the two number 11s. Summer number 13. We talked at mailboxes. Andy would go and chit-chat or whatever. He was up there far more than I was, mostly trapped in a box on my side. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, that it wasn't like we were besties or hung out. I want people to understand our relationship. As a community, mothers, I know her well enough to know that her face was genuine that day. Her calling the police that day was a big step and not something she would have normally done, and for her to have done so immediately told me that it was serious. And I still firmly believe she had nothing to do with any of this, she says. I mean, I have had people almost make me think like that, but I know in my gut and my heart that she didn't. And if y'all could have seen her face and heard her voice, I know certain behaviors make it look really weird and really whatever, and I get it. I get the past stuff and I get whatever. But in my gut and in my heart, I know she didn't, you know? And so I tell her I'm looking, and I jump back into the creek, and our other neighbor, who I'm not going to name, had already heard the commotion and was out. I don't know if Candace got him or he was already out. I don't know how that happened because I was focused looking, says Jody. I did pick up enough to know he had joined at this point. He asked if I wanted the creek or the bank. She said, well, I got sandals on, so I'll take the creek. Would keep down on tracks and cover everything. So we both walked through, and the foliage was a little different. It was fast how it popped up. Where this was at, coincidentally, was where the wood cutting started. Even the creek was dabbed up in spots. It was crazy. So I follow the creek. He follows the bank, which is at the bottom of Candace's hill, which is this main piece there. We kept in contact about searching and what we were seeing. There's nothing. He's getting nothing. And we should have had something being through there just because of how devastated it was and how muddy it was from the clear cutting. It was very thick and mushy. It wasn't normal. But tracks would have been there and even more pronounced, but it was still so messed up that I don't know. Maybe not. But at the creek area, it wasn't as, you know. Anyway, I get to the point where I can tell the creek hasn't been touched. It had been stagnant, even though there had been a rain or two the night or two before. But I could tell nothing had been there, but I went through it anyway, looked for tracks, and felt the bottom of the creek with my feet. I hopped right back in the other side and rinse and repeat, right? All the way through. The other neighbor was with me the entire time and was calling back and forth to make sure we didn't see anything or haven't found anything. And I got to the part where they literally have clear cut and a path all the way to the main road. It was wild. There is part that comes down almost like a roadway into Candace's property from the main road that they had cut everything off of, and it entirely dammed up a piece near a guardrail, and the field opens up at that point. And I see the boys way off to now what is my left, but back. At this point, I hear the cops coming, because down there you can tell the cops are coming 30 minutes before they even get there because of the way the dogs howl, so you have got quite a bit of warning. But you can hear their engines pick up. There was two that come by then, not long after that Andy comes, then Donnie, not long after behind him. Excuse me. Also, I see Candace going in and out from Ben Hill onto the main road in short spurts for things. So then I keep walking my piece, and as much as I could at this point, because they had literally taken up the creek. It was one of the wildest things I'd ever seen. So Andy stops and I'm like, Summer's missing. And he's like, I know. So he starts driving up the main road. I see the boys squatted down and I know they're playing. And I'm like, okay, kids, we'll be over. Kids will be kids. Either way, I finally make my way to them, and they realize they have been caught, and they stand up, and I ask the oldest, where did you see Summer last? And I'm not going to say what he told me, but then he tells me it's been a few minutes, and I'm not going to give the exact time either. And he tells me that, and he's pretty like speaking for the group, and they're all a little off because they're afraid I'm going to tell their mom they were playing and not looking for Summer. By this time, I make my way back to the field. I see a cop back there. I have reached as far as I can without crossing the fence, then right back to where I know has already been searched and is being searched by others at the time. And so I head back towards the middle, almost the same way the boys do. That way I can look for tracks in the middle in case I know the other neighbor was still busy on the bank. I hollered to him to see if they had found anything. Obviously, none of us had. We all kind of knew at this point she was not in there. There was also, I think we would have spotted any signs of animal things. I think there was like one bear track maybe, but it was older and it wasn't fresh. I mean, like one paw and not fresh. Anyway, it had been there before the rain, so it wasn't new. Anyway, she says, I make my way back to the start of Ben Hill. By this point, other neighbors are starting to flood in. Then that's the end of summer number 13. And that's a lot to take in. So I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm gonna put the next two in their own. And then I'm gonna put them all in a playlist. And it'll be easier for people to digest hopefully that way. But then if you want to listen to it all, you could just go ahead and listen to it all at once. Don is on YouTube acting a fool. I know. He is, you're right. As always. Exactly. Yep. And Jody Sue Brown with her fake calls. What's Jody Sue Brown doing now? She's probably live right now, huh? Nothing she says makes sense. She is the real tragedy pimp. You're right. Oh my gosh. She is. Nothing makes sense. Yeah. I read this all out and it doesn't make sense. And I almost feel kind of stupid reading it because I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think I broke my spell check. I'm serious. Because Jody Sue Brown is like, my computer doesn't even want to translate it. Yeah. Is she coming down the driveway or was she in the creek or was she apparently can be everywhere at once and knows exactly what's going on everywhere. You can't say anything about Beech Creek and Jody not know, she don't know about it. She knows about it, but she doesn't know where the camera footage is from June 15th. Right. You know? Okay. But she knows who stole it apparently. But she doesn't know where it is or what happened to it. But if she did, she wouldn't tell us. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wouldn't do anything to help with it. Before I leave, I want to show Summer's picture, something Jody doesn't ever do. Summer Moon Utah Wells. Still an active Amber Alert for her. She's about to turn 7 years old. She's got brothers that I sure miss her very much. There's her 3 brothers with her at her church, and I'm sure they want her back in their life and would like to know what happened to their baby sister. And I'm sure, Don and Candace, if you've been targeted and you truly don't know what happened to your daughter, there's something going on that you don't want to get in trouble though. Still, I feel like you're still hiding something, and I can't quite figure out what that is exactly. But man, do I hope your baby girl is found alive and safe. That's all I can say. And Summer, we love you. We're here for you every day. We're going to show your face and we're going to say your name, Summer Moon Utah Wells, and we're going to say it loud and we're going to say it proud. And we're never going to stop looking for answers for you and pressuring the people that we think have those answers that aren't willing to give them for their own selfish reasons. And we love you. And I hope everybody has a great night. Not besties, but they would take pictures of one another, and Candace would call her if kids were sick or for her to babysit. Exactly. But they weren't besties. It was just because she only deals with her direct neighbors. You don't deal with all your neighbors, just your direct neighbors. But yet she knows about all her neighbors and says how great everybody in Beech Creek is. Yet it seems like, from what I've heard of some people in Beech Creek, say that they don't think very highly of Jody. So I don't know. It's hard to know who to believe of what, you know? Like, did they really take pictures? Or is she just trying to make it sound like Candace had it really bad too? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe Candace didn't really have it that bad. I don't know. Maybe she did. I've seen evidence that she has. So maybe they really did do that. I don't know, but it sounds like they knew each other a lot better than Jody tries to portray. And that's, just my opinion. Hair curlers and crime. McBro. But yeah, so I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for your support and for being here. I appreciate you. Jody Sue, this is for you. No, this is for Summer. This ain't for you, Jody. I hope this could help somebody, though, for real. I hope somebody gets something out of this, because I'm not gonna lie, that was hard. It's like tedious because she's so hard for me to understand. I have to I have to like slow it down, you know what I'm saying? And it's like hard to do with the baby and stuff, But I enjoy it though. Like, don't get me wrong, it's tedious. Thank you, Hair Curls and Crime. I appreciate that. I love your channel too. But yeah, guys. I'm gonna go hang out with my husband, and hopefully the baby sleeps tonight, because last night he was up all night. And like he's going through a phase where he just likes to stay up all night. And I think pretty soon he's gonna want to start like sleeping in my bed with me and stuff, because he sleeps in his own crib in his room by himself every night like a big boy, because I think that's important for him. And I didn't do that with my other kids, but now he's going through this phase where he wants to be up and he just only wants me to hold him, which is fine. But I don't get any sleep that way. You know what I'm saying? And I love doing this, and this takes up a lot of my time, and I love to write music and play music too, but I never have time to write music. So whenever I'm posting music on here, it's literally just me like going in my kitchen or something and picking up my guitar and pushing record and just like recording something and hoping it turns out okay, and then posting it. I should just go live and like play music live. I think that'd be fun. But I get like kind of nervous when I feel like people are watching me when I play music, because I have to be in my complete own world when I'm playing music. And it's like you're being I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm a different person, or I'm like so completely myself, at the same time. And it feels really good. And that's why I love to play music. And I like to share that vibe and that feeling with people in in this community, because there has to be some kind of brightness in the community. But all right, I'm just rambling. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Yeah, my baby's awesome though. Like, he's really good. He's really, really good. He's a good baby. I got lucky with him. He's so cuddly and snuggly, and he sucks his thumb, and he walks around with his blankie, and like, he does like all the cute baby things, like all the cliche baby things that babies would do, like sucking their thumb and stuff, and it's just cute. I love it. But all right, I hope you guys have a good night. I'm gonna go. Thank you, McBro. I appreciate that. Oh, Lori FNM Lifestyle. That's my mom. Don't tell anybody. Shh. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Love you. Check out my mom's channel, Lori FNM Lifestyle. And if you want to buy her a coffee, she has a buy me a coffee link. I just got one too. Yeah, Mama Lowing. All right, y'all. Bye.